Students, in the previous video, we discussed in brief the various digital modulation techniques such as amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying, and phase shift keying. So in this video, let us discuss in detail about the first digital modulation technique, that is binary phase shift keying using a coherent detection, right? And in the BPSK system, whenever there is binary symbol 1 is there, which is represented by transmitting a carrier with 0 phase shift, and binary symbol 0 is represented by transmitting a carrier with 180-degree phase shift. So in BPSK, we require the two signals, the pair of signals S1 of t and S2 of t, which are used to represent the binary symbols ones and zeros. So S1 of t is used to represent the binary symbol 1, and S2 of t is used to represent the binary symbol 0, right? And this S1 of t and S2 of t, they are nothing but the carrier signals with respect to the 0 phase shift and 180-degree phase shift, right? And what is that carrier signal? The carrier signal is nothing but AC cos 2 pi fct, and S1 of t is equal to AC cos 2 pi fct. So here the phase shift, the pi value is how much? The pi value is 0, right? And the S2 of t is a signal which is used to represent the binary symbol 0. Means for 0 there should be 180-degree phase shift in the carrier signal. And here you can observe there is a 180-degree phase shift in this carrier, right? So cos 2 pi fct plus pi 180-degree, that gives what? Minus cos 2 pi fct along with the square root of 2 EBTB, and this one is for what? Amplitude AC, right? So definitely you'll be having some doubts, right? So how this could be written in place of AC, right? It's very simple. Look at here, we have S1 of t is equal to AC cos 2 pi fct, and if we want to find the energy of this carrier signal for bit duration EB, so EB is the transmitted bit energy, which is calculated as square root of square of signal S1 of t over the integration 0 to Tp. And we know that S1 of t is equal to AC cos 2 pi fct. So the square of S1 of t becomes what? AC square cos square 2 pi fct dt. And now this you have to integrate over 0 to Tp, right? And this AC square is, since amplitude is constant, so let me take outside the integration AC square, and this cos square 2 pi fct, that is in the form cos square theta, is can be written as 1 by 2 1 plus cos 2 theta. So here we have cos square 2 pi fct, this can be written as 1 by 2 1 plus cos 4 pi fct. See here you can, so this is cos 4 pi fct, and that 1 by 2 I combined with AC square, so that AC square by 2, then integration 0 to Tp 1 plus cos 4 pi fct into dt, right? So the integration of 1 is Tb, integration of 1 is t, and apply the limits Tb minus 0, so you will get Tb. And here cos 4 pi fct, so it's 4 is, it is even, so cos n pi, whenever n is even, the integration of cos n pi is always 0, right? So the integration of this term is 0 irrespective of any limits. So finally EB is equal to, it is a square by 2 into TB. Now let us express the same equation in terms of AC, for AC. So I will take to this side, it becomes 2EB. Then I will shift TB this side. So this becomes 2EB divided by TB. Then taking square root on both sides, you will get the expression for AC, that is in terms of the bit energy as well as bit duration TB. Now let us replace let us substitute this AC here for both S1 of t as well as S2 of t. So that is square root of 2EB divided by TB cos 2 pi fct, and S2 of t is equal to this into cos 2 pi fct plus pi. and cos 2 pi fct plus pi is minus cos 2 pi fct. So you will get minus this term into this term. So you can observe both these two, S1 of t and S2 of t, right? So the amplitude remains same, cos 2 pi fct, and here also cos 2 pi fct. What is the difference what is the change you can observe here is there is only change in the sign, right? So that we can write S2 of t is equal to minus S1 of t, right? So where EB is known as transmitted signal energy per bit and TB is known as bit duration. Understood? And one more thing is for whether it is digital modulation or analog modulation, the carrier signal frequency fc should be chosen such that your fc should be equal to n times 1 divided by TB, where 1 divided by TB is the frequency of digital data and which is multiplied to n, where n is any fixed integer 1 2 like that, means your fc should be greater than or equal to n times 1 divided by tb. So that is the frequency of the digital data. And from these two equations 1 and 2, equation 1 and 2, we can observe both the signals are sinusoidal carrier only. They differ only in relative phase shift of 180 degree, and hence they are known as antipodal signals. What they are called as antipodal signals. So in the next slide, you can observe here. One second. Okay. Here we have signal space or constellation diagram, right? Signal space, it is also known as constellation diagram for BPSK. Why the signal space is required? It is necessary to locate the message points such as binary ones and zeros. These message points you have to locate over uh, two-dimensional space with the help of the basis function. But here you can see, we already know that since both S1 of t and S2 of t, they are antipodal signals, S2 of t is equal to minus S1 of t, right? So both signal S1 of t as well as S2 of t have the same basis function pi 1 of t. Instead of using two basis function, you can use one basis function for the signal space or constellation diagram, right? And for BPSK signal, there is only one basis function of unit energy. That is, this basis function has unit energy since S2 of t is equal to minus S1 of t. Then we may express S1 of t and S2 of t in terms of pi 1 of t, right? So you can observe the previous slide here. So S1 of t is equal to square root of 2 EB divided by TB cos 2 pi fct, right? So the amplitude term can be written as square root of 2 divided by TB into square root of EB. Yes, we can write like this, right? Square root of 2 times 2 divided by TB into square root of EB. And we know that this square root of 2 by TB cos 2 pi fct is nothing but pi 1 of t. So that S1 of t can be written as, expressed as square root of EB into pi 1 of t. And this S2 of t can be written as minus square root of EB pi 1 of t. Right? The same thing is re-expressed here. That is S1 of t is equal to square root of EB into pi 1 of t, and S2 of t is equal to minus square root of EB into pi 2 of t. And from the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure, the signal S1 of t can be written in terms of its coefficient S11 as well as the basis function pi 1 of t. And S2 of t is equal to S21 into pi 2 of t, right? So comparing these two equations 4 and 5 with equation this 6, you can write S11 in terms of square root of bit energy, and S21 is equal to minus square root of bit energy, that is EB. There is another simple method to calculate these constant coefficient values. that is S11 and S21, as we know that Sij, any coefficient in the signal set SIT, its coefficient Sij is equal to integration from 0 to Tb Sit into pi j of t into dt. So this S11 is equal to integration 0 to Tb S1 of t into pi 1 of t dt. So it is 0 to Tb square root of Eb, because S1 of t from the equation number 4, it is square root of Eb into pi 1 of t, which is multiplied by this pi 1 of t, right? So it is 0 to t square root of Eb pi 1 of t square. So let me take the square root of Eb outside. So it is 0 to Tb integration pi 1 of t square. And what is the 0 to Tb pi 1 of t square? It is the energy of the basis function that is always unity. So that is square root of Eb to 1 is square root of Eb. Similarly, you can do it for the second coefficient, that is S21, that is 0 to Tb minus square root of Eb pi 1 of t into pi 1 of t. So that gives you minus square root of Eb. So here the S11 and S21 are nothing but the elements or coefficients for the message points. B1 is equal to 1 and B1 is equal to 0. So these are the binary message points B1 and B2. Next, how to locate these message points corresponding to two signals S1 of t and S2 of t, right? So that we'll see in the this slide, right? So the message points corresponding to signal S1 of t is located at S11 is equal to square root of Eb, and a message point corresponding to S2 of t is located at S21 is equal to minus Eb, with the help of one dimensional signal space. That is only one basis function we have considered uh, for x-axis, that is pi 1. So in order to locate these two message points, we have to consider a decision boundary uh, at origin, right? And the message point 1 is S11, which is square root of Eb. So it is a positive quantity. So it is always lies on the positive pi 1 axis. So it is square root of Eb. And S21 is equal to minus square root of Eb. So it is a negative quantity. So it is in the negative pi 1 axis minus square root of Eb. So this is how we locate the two message points in terms of their energy content square root of Eb in the signal space diagram. It is also known as the constellation diagram. So here these are the two waveforms for S1 of t and S2 of t with respect to their amplitude levels. So this one is S1 of t and S2 of t is minus of S1 of t, means the positive peak becomes negative and negative peak becomes positive. Uh, so this is about the binary phase shift keying. So in the next video, we'll discuss how to generate and detect this particular binary phase shift keying. Thank you.